Hey guys, welcome back to Pantry. I'm Alicia and today I am doing some freeze drying and I wanted to do an experiment. I am freeze drying some carrots and some celery, also one tray of mushrooms because I got mushrooms on sale at Aldi and I wanted to dehydrate them to make a mushroom soup mix powder, which is a great tip I got from Darci over at Purposeful Pantry. Mushroom soup, like the cans of mushroom soup, are something that I don't buy, but I don't always want to make the mushroom soup from scratch. And I recently saw an old video of hers where she made a mushroom powder with a dehydrator and made a mushroom powder mix. I will link that video below for you. But I have a whole dehydrator full of mushrooms going and I didn't fit them all, and so I was going to do a tray of those in my freeze dryer just to see, not as a powder, just to see what they come out like, because I have not freeze dried mushrooms. And I was going to do some carrots and celery, and here's the thing. I have done carrots before as like a carrot chip, like thin slices, and I just tossed them in. They were fine that way. But these I want to do like cubes that will go in whatever dish I want to saute them up in, you know, like toss them in a soup, saute them with onions and celery and what have you. And so what I'm coming across in not doing the chip thing, but using them for a different purpose, is I'm seeing that things say to blanch them. And I don't know for a fact that I have to blanch them because like I said, I made the chips before and the chips were fine. But these aren't going to be chips. They were like a different consistency. And so I wanted to see what I should do. So what I'm going to do with both the celery and the onions, because technically you're supposed to blanch both of those if you're freeze drying them. And I have found in freeze dryer groups, I found people that say, do you need to blanch them? People that say they don't, people that say they didn't and they didn't come out well or didn't reconstitute well, and others say they were fine. So I decided I'm just going to do a tray of each for both. I'm going to do a tray of the carrots, a tray of celery, and I will blanch one tray of carrots and leave one unblanched, and I will blanch one tray of celery and leave one unblanched, and then we will see how they come out. We'll experiment a little bit how they come out. Do I need both if I reconstitute them, and if I don't, if I just like to toss them in a meal. So right now I am getting my water here is getting hot. I've got my bowl of ice water. Got my bowl of ice water over here, ready to stick them in, and then I will get them onto the freeze dryer trays, and then I will see you back here when those are done, and we can experiment with them a little bit. All right, these just came out of the freeze dryer. Let's set the mushrooms aside. And let's see what we're gonna do here. I'm going to test these two different ways. Okay, celery not blanched. Blanched carrots. So not blanched carrots. And then these are the blanched celery. I'm going to test these first just by taking a bite of each one. That one doesn't count. Taking a bite of each one just to compare them as if they were a snack. There was one time when I first got my freeze dryer that I made carrot chips. I did not completely love them. They weren't bad. They just weren't like, ooh, I want carrot chips all the time. And so I'm wondering if the blanch makes a difference as far as that. So this is a blanched carrot. It's got good texture, nice and crispy. Okay, not blanched carrot. I can't tell the difference. You can try again. The blanched ones are just slightly lighter. Not enough that I would be worried about always needing to blanch it. So I would say with the carrots, so far, I would say you don't have to blanch them. However, I am going to also reconstitute these and see how that, if it makes a difference there. Okay, celery, blanched. It's like there's almost nothing there. I don't think I've freeze-dried celery before. I'm just realizing that. Okay, unblanched. Okay. The blanched ones are slightly lighter and fluffier too. A little less of the stringiness of the celery, but these are chopped, so there's not really stringiness, is not really an issue. But the not blanched ones actually have way more celery flavor. That's the only, I don't really notice a whole lot of texture difference, but they have a lot of celery flavor, whereas these are very, like they've lost some of their celery flavor. Maybe if I blanched in less time, I don't know, I went by the charts online. So far, I would say it doesn't really matter. You don't have to wait to take time blanching. Let me get some warm water and see how they do. Okay, I am not sure how long these will take to reconstitute. It shouldn't take too long though. I'm just curious if this is any different, because sometimes how you use it matters. And if I want to just throw some freeze-dried ones straight into a soup or something and not have to reconstitute it, I just want to see if there's a difference for how it works there. I would say if you want to eat any of these for fresh snacking, it doesn't matter if you blanch them. But for now, let's see if it makes a difference for if it goes into liquid. While I'm giving these a minute, I will just seal up these mushrooms real quick. I might as well get my sealer out because I'm going to need it to seal these up too. Those ready to take downstairs. Okay, let's see. I'm not thinking those are ready. I think the celery is ready. Let's go ahead and try that. Okay, so the blanched celery. I probably should have tried more than one thing, because when I ate it just now, I took more than one bite, but I just put one piece in here. Okay, already I can tell you that the blanched celery is mushy. It still crunches when I take a bite though. It just feels very soft. Kind of has a harder exterior edge than what I'm used to in cooked celery. Like if I throw celery in soup, although I often saute it first. Okay, this is the not blanched one. It's the same. Again, more celery flavor. It's coming through that way too. Okay, same texture. I would guess, I only had these in for a few seconds. I would guess if I threw these in a soup and they were in a while longer, then the outside shell wouldn't be as tough. It's not tough, it's just tougher than the inside, if that makes sense. Okay, let's try the carrots. All right, starting with the blanched one. Crunchy, slightly spongy when first bite, but after that it's fine. Okay, I would totally use that in soup. This is the non-blanched carrot. Very similar. Slightly tougher on the outside. I don't know if I left it in longer if it would make a difference. I would say for the celery in the future, I would not blanch it. It did just the same, and it has better flavor, like more, it didn't lose as much flavor as this one did. It tastes more like celery. It doesn't not taste like celery. This is just more concentrated. For the carrots, I could go either way, but if I wanted to do a batch that I knew was going to be just in soups and things, or things that have liquid in them, I might go ahead and blanch them. If I didn't have time, I wouldn't stress about it. These were just slightly better. Like I said, if I left this longer, it might end up being the same. These were just slightly better on the exterior. So for all of them, it's almost like the outside is like its own layer. Even on the cut sides, like the whole thing is its own layer. It's a little bit tougher, not tough, but I'm trying to use that word to describe it. It's not the same texture as the inside. The inside is softer. Both of these still had good texture though. Like, they weren't soft on the inside, just softer than the outside. I'm not having good words today to explain it. So I would totally do either of these. If I knew what the use was going to be for these, I might be tempted to blanch them, but I'm not going to stress about it if I need to just get some stuff preserved. I've got carrots that I need to use up or what have you. Yeah, they'd be totally fine. So to blanch or not to blanch, I would say don't blanch the celery. I would say blanch the carrots if you feel like it. If I'm going to be honest with myself, I always take the easy way out of doing things when it comes to food preservation, so I probably will end up not blanching them in the future. Just because it wasn't a very big difference. And I often don't take extra steps if they're not necessary and they don't make a big difference. So there's that. I'm actually going to put these together in one jar for storage. I'm not going to try to keep them separated because they are that similar. Same with these. I would say blanching could be beneficial, is not necessary for the carrots. Definitely not necessary for the celery. That is the final answer. Anyways, thanks for joining me for my little experiment, and I hope you learned something. I certainly did. I hope to see you again on future videos, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.